So a lot of people will say, do what makes you happy. But does that mean for the moment or does that mean for the long haul? I think telling people to do what makes them happy is great advice usually. Your happiness should always come first. I think your mental health should always come first. But I do think some people will do it to the point where it's like, there's always this grass is greener type of thing. They're never satisfied with what they have. When they get something new, it becomes like fool's gold. These people will tend to like hop around from thing to thing, searching for something that makes them happy. And the problem is the happiness has to start from within. And that's pretty much like the topic of this video today. I just think there's so much of a culture nowadays around emotionally based thinking and people making decisions solely based on their emotions with no or even maybe a little bit of logic involved. So many people nowadays are just doing things all willy-nilly, acting out, doing things out of emotion, whether it's like violence or if somebody wrongs them, they're ready to jump out and do something. If they're in a decent situation, they're constantly searching for something new to the point where they'll just sabotage their current thing, hoping for something better. People are just doing this thing where they're acting now and thinking later. I really don't like that mentality. And oftentimes you'll have people who are completely fine, normally. If they're just in their day-to-day, they're pretty content, they're cool with what's going on. But when they hit a point where somebody gets into their feelings and somebody is able to manipulate their feelings, all logic starts going out of the window. And that's where you see a lot of violence happen sometimes. Some people don't know how to cope with their emotions. So when they have somebody provoke them and almost give them an outlet to express themselves, they do it in a negative way. So let's talk about some of the negatives that are caused by emotionally based thinking, right? Being emotional causes you to be easily manipulated, like I said before. When people feel like they can pull strings on you, they'll do it sometimes just to get a reaction out of you. When they know how to push your buttons, it can really get to you. But it's important for you to understand, what can get to you easily and learn how to make better decisions when it happens. And like I said, it's not just when somebody pushes your buttons negatively and challenges you. It's also when people are manipulated, let's say in relationships, right? Somebody can treat you horribly 90% of the time, but a simple I love you or they buy you a gift, some people are okay with that. They're cool with that situation. It's emotionally based thinking. You get treated bad 90% of the time, and for 10% of the time they treat you well, and you value that 10% of the time way more, when logically that's not that's not a good idea. You have to start understanding that emotional decisions can affect your life in the moment and for the long haul too, especially when you do something stupid. So going forward, I think that it's important to emphasize making logical based decisions in regards to your life. And yeah, I know sometimes it's boring, when you guys sit around and actually think about your situation and think about the best way to do things. It's just more fun to just jump in and do whatever. But like when you emphasize logical based decision making, sometimes you might feel like you have to plan everything and do everything in a very, very structured manner, when that's not the case though. You don't have to do it that way. Logical based thinking is simply when something is presented to you, you're thinking about it in the sense that, is this going to be a detriment to me? And that's it. What are the consequences? What's the most likely scenario or outcome of me doing this and moving forward accordingly? But when you approach things from this angle, you tend to make more steady decisions and you're definitely more sure of yourself. And look, I don't believe that emotional based thinking is always the wrong way to go about it. And I don't think that logical based thinking is always the best way to go about it either. But I think for the most part, being logical will allow you to make the best decisions possible. This is one of those videos I feel like I wanted to talk about because there are some people who just enjoy being spontaneous. Spontaneous is cool, right? But you can be spontaneous while also being logical. You can add logic to pretty much anything. When it makes sense, you should do it that way. If you do something, you should be able to say, this is why I did it, or at least understand why you did it. If you can't understand why you did it, then you're not operating in logic. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like below, leave a comment sharing your thoughts on the topic, follow me on my socials at leanbuff, and subscribe for more.